Welcome back to This Day Live, the Sunday talk show here on the Arise News channel. With me, I have back now Professor David Aworawo, Professor of International Relations and Strategic Studies at the University of Lagos, Nigeria. I also have Professor Anthony Kila, Professor of Strategy and Development and Institute Director at the Commonwealth Institute of Advanced and Professional Studies, CIAPS. Well, gentlemen, good to have you back. During the interlude, I had Sheun Anikulapo Kuti talking about EndSARS, talking about governance, talking about the state of the Nigerian state, talking about the Tinubu administration and all of that. Just to get your feedback on, many of the issues that Sheun Kuti responded to, including the ordeal of spending hours to get to the studio, because Third Mainland Bridge has been shut down for the umpteenth time, and he had to navigate and run around Lagos to be able to get to the studio. What a country.
Well, I would like to comment on his perspective on good governance. All Nigerians expect good governance, and all Nigerians deserve good governance. He said Nigerians expect things to be a lot better than they are now. Unfortunately, we haven't made as much progress as we will expect. Yes, the current government is, putting in place policies to try to address the economic issues and all. But there's an aspect of it that is very concerning to me, and I've said that several times on, this program. This wide gap between those in government and the rest. In the course of the week, the information regarding purchase of cars for members of House of Representatives, we hear figures as high as 160 million. In this economy, and we hear the Labour Party say, these members should reject it in line with their, concern for good governance and equity in Nigeria. And the Labour Party representatives say, no, they need a car for their official business. So are they saying they should not have official car anymore? Now, my comment to this is this. Why does the government not go to Inosun or any of these local manufacturers to manufacture a car of maybe 10, 15 million for them to do the official duty in Abuja, in line with our current economic condition? Why do you need a car of over 100 million for a country that uses 100% of what it earns to service debt? I can't quite make sense of it. And we talked about this the other time when the president signed 70 billion, for senators. For members of the House of Assembly. And each one was getting 200 million. We talked the other time, the president just, signed 35,000 for public, government workers. Yeah. I calculated mine. What I will get is 210,000 naira for 6 months. It ends there. So where I'm getting 200,000 naira, the senator is getting 200 million. Well, is there something wrong with the political class that even at a time like this, they can't understand where the country should be headed? I want that to be addressed. It reflects failure, colossal failure of good governance. And regarding EndSARS, I talked about EndSARS before. Let me just make this addendum that one thing that can help in public relations is continuous education, continuous information for the police. The Police Act of 2020, if you read Section 4, it summarizes the function of the police. To detect crime, to protect the public, and all of those things are there. But when I come across policemen, including when I was coming down now, you discover that they don't even understand all of this. I know police formations meet either once or twice a week. They should use as an opportunity to bring the Police Act and draw the attention of our members to their responsibilities. Torture is not allowed. You can go to prison for 25 years if you torture anybody. But police still does that. They need to be informed regarding what the law that guides their activities says. So because many of them don't know, and those who come to Unilag to come and do courses on, policing and all that, law enforcement, when we teach them, they are surprised that is this what the laws? They don't know. So there should be a mechanism for that to be addressed, so that moving forward, it will enhance their job and make the relationship between them and the public to be enhanced as well.
Professor Kila,
Well,
your take before we take one more subject.
yes, I'm very
and wrap it
impressed
up.
by Sheon Kuti's Weberian discussion. Max Weber, the idea, he didn't say so, but I can see the thought. When he said that the police or the uniformed men are the physical embodiment of the state. And I want viewers to follow this. The essence of the state is monopoly of force. One thing that the state has that nobody else can have is monopoly of force. Monopoly of force is embodied by men in uniform. And that is why there's no country that has been able to progress and be respected if those wearing uniform are not well behaved. The link is there. And I think the people, whether in government or outside government, until we're able to fully think through the importance of getting those in uniform to behave well, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. That is what I need to say about that.
Well, quickly, let's take one more subject before we wrap it up today. So many subjects on our plate. Israel is stepping up its airstrikes in the north of the Gaza Strip and warning thousands of Palestinians today to move to the south of the enclave for their own safety ahead of an expected ground invasion by its forces. Gaza's health ministry, which is controlled by the militant group Hamas, is reporting at least 55 more. Palestinians have been killed in Israel's latest breeze. In another development, Israeli rockets have hit a mosque in the West Bank city of Jenin, killing members of Hamas and Islamic Jihad, which the Israeli ministry claimed was a terrorist command center. From Tel Aviv, Arise News chief correspondent John Cookson now reports. Okay, well, before we get that report, let's quickly treat the subject here. I'm privileged to have two professors of international relations. Let me start with you, Professor Kila.
Well, my position remains the same. It's not a very popular position. My position in this crisis is that we should just save life. I think who started it, who has been doing it for 75 years, they're all matter of history and conscience. But for me, the rule is primum vivere, life first. The international community should know that every life lost is an indictment of humanity. It's, when the bell tolls, it tolls for all of us.
Hemingway, right?
Yes,
Huh?
and I think what we need to do is remember Hemingway and go now and beg Israelis who have to beg them, beg Palestinians who have to beg them to stop killing each other. That is what matters. If we imagine that one of those people that are killing or they're mutating could be the next Nobel Prize winner, or could be a scientist, or could be anybody that could save somebody else's life, we have to really beg everybody to stop killing each other and not pray for one-size victory.
Well, Professor Aworawo.
Yeah, when I spoke about this matter last week, I said Israel will likely win the war. We win the war, but we lose the peace, the way it was going. And the way Israel has gone in the past 1 week, it is clear that Israel is winning the war, but will they win the peace? I agree with what Professor Kila just said. What we need is peace. How do we get it? We can only get it when both sides reflect to recognize the fact that what they have done in 75 years and it hasn't yielded fruit. They need a different route, a different course of action. They should learn from Germany and France, who were also at war with each other for 75 years, 1870 to 1945. After the end of the Second World War, they recognized that it didn't make sense to go to do the same thing, destroy, rebuild, and destroy again. That it wasn't elevating them. And then they put structures in place to be able to address the contradictions. And right now, they also saw that they didn't have to be competitors. Yeah. They could be collaborators for peace, progress, and development. And that is what they have been in Europe in the past, many decades. Israel and Palestine should learn from that what they have done over the years.
Israel and Hamas.
Yeah, well,
because the Palestinian Authority.
And Hamas. It has spread, it has escalated. And I'm also concerned with the way Israel has gone about it. We predicted it and we thought they would disappoint, or they didn't disappoint.
No, they would never.
The bombing is indiscriminate now.
But President Biden visited.
It doesn't matter. Those ones are fighting for their political life. And unfortunately, they have not elevated, they have not raised human value above political opportunism.
I think Hamas needs to put on their thinking cap
Yes,
on their head.
of course.
And know that they can never win a war by violence.
Never, ever.
They can never defeat it by violence.
Never, ever.
The violence is both ways. It's,
Yes.
it's
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's mutual assured destruction, as you call
I
it.
think
they don't need
Hamas needs to go and read the art of the war. Battles are won before starting it.
Art of the war?
Yes, by
That's
Sun Tzu.
soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
The art of-
Before, if you know that you're going to lose a battle, don't fight it. That is what the good generals do. Hamas can never win through violence. And the world, each their own conscience. Their attitude towards Israel is something that maybe in 100 years' time, people have to read through.
Except Prof. Sun Tzu was more about theory of the state, about the power of the state, more than actually the theory of the war.
Because they didn't want war.
But this is not the occasion to start an academic argument. Thank you very much, Professor Aworawo. Thank you, Professor Kila. You've been watching This Day Live, the Sunday talk show, here on Arise News. I'm Ruben Abati. From our entire team here in Lagos, it's bye for now, and thank you very much for watching.